basically the property is in a really rough shape, and
Okay.
my client tells me that they just want some time to go through the property. The family wants some time to go through the property. They wanted a longer escrow. Tells me that there was a body found on the property. And with probates, I've done so many of these that I feel like deaths are just very common.
Was he calling you to be like, hey, by the way, I just found a dead body? Or
No, it was found a year ago. And then I do my comps. And I pull up the address and I see a bunch of articles.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my
And I
God.
see a dead body found in the freezer. And I'm like, so that's what he meant by dead body was found on the property.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Behind the Lockbox. I'm Stephanie Zalowski. And today, I'm very excited for this guest. We have Kat Olczak with us. Hey, girl.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm so happy you're here. So Kat is an agent with Real. She is not only an agent, but a wholesaler as well. She also does probate. She was a former D1 athlete, which is so cool, and also taller than me, which I'm obsessed with because I feel like I'm always the tallest one in the room. I love it.
Thank you.
You kind of are a jack of all trades. You also work at independent and assisted living sales, which we can talk about that probably some other time. But how we met was kind of kismet. So our amazing home inspector, Joe Perez, which if you guys haven't listened to that episode, he was episode 56. So go back and take a listen to that.
Definitely.
But Joe, yes, it was a good one. You listened to it, didn't you?
I love that.
Yes. So Joe calls me one day and says, you must have Kat on your show. And I was like, who is Kat? Tell me all about her. He started to tell me a story and I was like, don't tell me anymore. Like, I want Kat to tell it. And literally the next day, we were at an event that Jenny Tormey who has also been on this podcast, by the way. She was episode 58. So if you haven't listened to that, I know.
What are the odds?
I know. It was like, so, I'm telling you guys, it was so perfect. It really was. So Kat walks up to me and she's like, oh my God, are you Stephanie with the podcast? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, I'm Kat Olczak. And I'm like, oh my God, Joe called me yesterday. And then from then on, we were like, this has been a really long time coming. So anyway, with all of that, Kat, welcome to Behind the Lockbox.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Yes,
and thank you, Joe, for the introduction.
Joe, I love you. It's the best.
Yeah.
So, okay, when we were just chatting right now before we were recording, I was like, where do you want to start? And the one with Joe, you said is disgusting. So we can maybe come back to that one. But you would text me and you're like, oh my God, something just recently happened. Did you say that it was like criminal? Oh my God, tell me everything. Go. Just start. Just go. Go ahead.
So it was very, I feel like with the probate stories, there's always something.
Always something.
There's never an easy sale. I
Mm-mm.
feel like whenever there's death involved, there's just always.
Well, especially when it goes into probate. So really quickly, for anyone who doesn't know, if a house does not have a trust, and there's just simply a will, or maybe even not that,
Yes.
somebody dies and the family starts fighting over it, it then has to go into what's called probate. And the court will decide then how things will proceed, who gets what, is the house going to be sold, all the nine. So you work in some of those. And so as you can imagine, you're walking into a mess. Like people are pissed off. Not everyone's happy. Anyway, continue. So it's always a disaster.
Yeah, but I feel like a lot of the times they're just very good people and like
For
very difficult situations.
Yes,
And that's
yeah.
why I love helping them and working with them, because I feel like when I walk in, I can offer them so much help because I've done this so many times.
Yeah.
And it's just much more fulfilling to me when I
Which I
have someone
love.
that really
Yeah.
like appreciates the work that I do, because they really do. And then we have like beautiful relationships, and then we talk and we're friends, and
That's so good.
it's really fun. But
Yeah.
I feel like with this one, it was just very interesting. So I was following up with the family with the son-in-law of the person that passed, basically.
Okay.
So he was a very nice guy. And we kept talking about the probate, the situation of the home. And when he was ready, we connected. And he basically told me about the condition of the property.
Because when you first started talking to him, was it not out of probate yet? Like it wasn't.
It was during the process.
Okay,
I
so it was still
usually
during
reach
the
out to them
process.
like right away, because
Okay.
I want to just connect with them right away,
going
because
with it.
after that, I feel like it's hard to get a hold of them. Like a lot of them just check out because they're just so overwhelmed with the amount of calls and letters and people knocking on their doors. Like it's insane. A
Yeah.
lot of agents want
Have that
to
information and they want to. So yes,
yeah,
you're
they
calling immediately to try to develop that
exactly
relationship, which is
exactly
brilliant. Yeah.
yeah. So I don't want to like be too much for them, right?
Sure.
I just want to tell them like, hey, if you need anything, I'm here, and like that's it.
And
So
I'm sure a lot of them appreciate that. And they remember that you weren't pushy and that you're
yeah,
not, you're just like, hey, look, I'm a resource. I've done this before. Like, let me help you out. So that's
yeah,
good. Yeah.
exactly. And some of them they would want to go on market and they would want to put some, work into the house and
Right.
like get the most
Fix
out
it
of
up.
it.
Yeah.
And I love it. And I just love coordinating the construction,
Yeah.
like having guys come in and make it from, like a dated place into
I
a
love that
nice
too.
home that is
It's
just
so nice
so
watching
inviting.
watching it develop and like project management in that way. I don't mind it. I've done that for a few clients for
Yeah.
even some high-end listings here in La Jolla that like there was
Yeah.
tenants in place and we needed to like fix it up before we went to market. And it's so fun to see like that transformation, you know?
Yes,
So
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's very fulfilling in that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
And then when I negotiate for them, that just like hypes me
Ugh,
up even more.
Same.
When I get them more money
Mm-hmm.
and they get just so happy and it's
You
just,
can grab that.
yeah, I feel like I'm
No, it's okay.
getting dry.
For everyone not watching, she's grabbing her water. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, I just love this part of the business.
Yeah. Yeah.
And with the wholesaling part of it, if there's a heavy story to it or if there's a lot of distress or a lot of I would say if the property is just in a really really bad shape
Yeah.
and they
Which we see
don't
that a
want
lot.
to put the time and money into it
Yeah.
because
Yep.
sometimes they just want to let it go.
They're like,
forget
just
about
sell it what you can sell it for and like be
Yeah.
done. And like, I just want to move on. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and then we can find an investor that will buy it and just do the work
Yep.
and they're not like emotionally attached to it.
Right. Right.
So for them it's just
better.
yeah,
Yeah.
they can come in, do their work. It's just a
100%.
business transaction
100%.
at the end of the day.
Agreed.
The numbers make sense for them.
Yeah.
They come in and
Yeah. And that's it. So on this one, what was criminal?
Okay. So basically the property is in really rough shape and
Okay.
my client tells me that they just want some time to go through the property. The family wants some time to go through the property. They wanted a longer escrow. I said, perfect. I'll bring an investor. He will how long do you guys want?
Mm-hmm.
1 month. Okay, perfect. We'll do 1 month escrow. Like that's
Okay.
standard
That is
anyways.
standard. Yeah. Yeah.
And
She needs to take a sip of water for this one.
okay, no, but I'm gonna go through this. It's just hard to like spit it out. But
yeah.
he tells me that there was a body found on the property. And with probates, I've done so many of these that I feel like deaths are just very common.
Yes.
And I've heard so many crazy stories about deaths that happen on the properties that
Yeah,
usually
so
they
have
would
I.
just like tell me the whole story, right? But
Right.
he just said that there was a body found on the property. And I was like, okay, so he's just basically disclosing a death. And I didn't ask any more questions.
Was he calling you to be like, hey, by the way, I just found a dead body?
Or it was found a year ago.
Okay, so he told you like
Yeah,
and
when it
then
happened.
we obviously have to disclose that information in
Yes.
California. You're like, okay, great. I don't really want to know anymore, but like we'll disclose it. Fine. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And then I do my comps. And I pull up the address and I see a bunch of articles.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my
And I
God.
see a dead body found in the freezer. And I'm like, so that's what he meant by dead body was found on the property. I was like, I didn't ask any more
The
questions.
freezer. But did he put the body in the freezer?
No. So it was his wife's dad that lived on the property.
Oh my God.
And it was just insane because
Did he kill somebody and put them in the freezer?
so apparently his wife was missing for 9 years. Okay.
Shut the up.
I know.
His wife's mom was missing for 9 years
Yes.
and they found her ass in the freezer. Did he kill her?
So they did it 2 months before he died. So he had a stroke. He ended up in a hospital.
No one
His
knew that she was in
friend-
the freezer at the house. Like, where were the cops? What kind of
There was
detective
one guy
work is
that
this?
knew. There was one guy that knew. It was his friend. He came and he told the family.
What?
Yeah. And
I am shook right now.
yeah.
And so he ended up telling the family after the guy died. By the way, he
No,
actually
before he died. So then, but he already had dementia. So he was really, after a stroke. And
okay. So he had a stroke, and then he was not.
there was
right
memory
after
loss. So when they
Okay.
talked to him about it, he didn't remember anything.
Wow.
So he was alive, but he didn't even know what happened.
And did they ever find out how he killed her?
Apparently, no. So
Wow.
The
Well, I would
police
think
said
she's
that they
well
don't
preserved
know.
if she's in the freezer.
I know.
And what kind of freezer was this? A deep freeze? Was it the normal fridge? Like, I have questions, Kat. I need more. You need to send this article. Holy shit.
It's insane.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So he was old. I mean, he killed her 9 years, but he did kill her, correct?
No. So apparently, someone said that she died of natural causes. She was apparently overweight, but I don't know if that's true or not.
But then he still put her in the freezer
Yes.
and didn't tell anyone where she was, and she was missing this whole time.
Yes.
No
and
way.
the suspicion, it's just, allegedly, but police hasn't proven anything. There was a theory that came from the friend that told the police that he got forced at gunpoint to help him put the body in the freezer.
Wow.
So he was saying
That is insane.
that he was basically like trying to put it in the backyard, and
Like bury
she
her,
was
basically.
he needed help, so he asked him, and he was trying to refuse and saying like, this is not okay, which I don't know if it's true or not. That's
who
his version
knows
of the story,
right.
But allegedly that's what happened.
Well, I love that you say allegedly. Yeah. Thank you for saying that, because we don't need to get sued over here. That is
Yeah.
insane. So did you get the listing?
So it wasn't a listing. We sold it off market because
Okay,
I
you
feel
did.
like it was just way easier that way.
100%. With having an
people-
investor come in, they need to like flip it and like
the whole neighborhood was talking about it when I showed up, like lazy neighbors coming up and like
oh boy.
firing 1,000 questions at me.
And you're like, I don't know, and also I don't want to know, because then I have to disclose all this information. Like, wow.
Yeah. so
Because then
I
it
had to
came out,
wait.
obviously, like once the guy died, right? Then they found the body in the freezer. And then the brother or the husband is like, yeah, my wife's dad, like, I don't know, whatever. You're like, okay.
I mean, the family was like shocked.
Of course.
They were in Kentucky. They came from Kentucky, so they didn't know about any of this stuff.
They just knew that she was missing for this whole time.
I think so.
Wow. What part of San Diego was this?
That was in Allied Gardens.
Okay. That is insane. Woo! Well,
Yeah.
Kat's starting with a banger. Okay.
Yeah.
You want to tell your gross Joe story now? You need to tell it. This is why. Come on. Joe will be very upset if you don't tell this story.
Of course, I have.
So you were
to-
at a home inspection with Joe, correct?
So no, okay.
Okay,
So with
okay.
this one, hold on. I think I posted on my story, and then he
I don't
replied to
remember.
it.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. Okay. So
Yes.
okay. I don't know.
So
You might start talking and I might be like, oh my God, yes, but I can't remember any of it right now.
Yes. So me and Joe, we were like, we know each other for a while, right?
Yes. Joe is the
There was
best.
another. Actually, let me tell you about one more story.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
There was one listing that I had, and it was a probate. And Joe was he used to flip homes in Oceana.
Yeah. Oceanside.
Yeah.
Yeah. He has. Yeah.
So I was like, hey Joe, this is a 55 plus community and it's a fixer. Do you want to take a look? He's like,
Yeah.
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'll come and check it out.
Was it up in Oceanside or where was it?
Yes, it was an Oceanside.
Okay,
In
okay.
Peacock Hills.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, do you know that area?
Yes.
Yes. So anyways, he comes in and then he starts checking out the property, and then he calls me and he's like, this neighbor came up to me and told me that someone was tortured on the property.
Oh my God, Kat!
And I'm like, what?
These properties. Like,
I was
what?
like, Joe, this is horrifying. Like, are you serious? She's like, yeah, I was shocked.
Little Joe is like, I can imagine this conversation going down where Joe is like, okay, what? Like, so the
Yeah.
neighbor
Yeah.
says this to Joe.
Yeah.
Was the house vacant?
Yes.
Keep going.
So my client's
crap.
dad used to live there, and he got involved into something. I don't know if I should talk about,
We can cut it if we need
but
to.
something happened where people came in and they tortured him in the house, and they had a
So he basically got involved with the wrong people, so to
Yes,
speak.
exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Maybe he was borrowing money or could have been cartel. We're not really sure.
He was, I think there were some drugs involved,
Okay,
but
that makes
I
sense.
think
Yeah. No, I mean, it happened
It was-
for sure.
it was just crazy. And when,
Did they kill him?
so no, he went to the hospital and then
Okay.
he died.
Okay.
Yeah.
Later. Okay.
In the hospital, yeah.
Wow.
But,
Well, it's like so tragic for the family.
no, it was, yeah.
That's insane. And so then the neighbor just comes out and sees Joe and is like, "Did you know?"
Yeah.
Somebody, and it's like, "What?"
And I called my client and I'm like,
Oh, yeah, because you didn't know,
I'm like,
right?
Dan, what's happening? Like, what happened here? And then I realized that when I hired a contractor to paint the walls, because I was like trying to fix it up a little bit, just like clean it up and stuff.
Oh my God.
When he went in there, I went to check on it. He said that there was blood on the walls, that he cleaned it before painting it. And he like asked me if something happened in here. And I was like, no, I don't think so. Like,
Because you didn't know at the time. You were like,
Yeah.
"No, what do you mean?"
So then when these two things clicked, I was like, no, I have to like ask him about it. I thought before maybe like, oh, there was an old person living here, like maybe blood, like I don't know, maybe they cut themselves or
sure,
something. Like I haven't
sure.
seen it. I haven't really paid attention, to be honest.
Right.
But after he pointed that out and he haven't like washed the floor yet, and he showed me there was still some blood like splashed in there, I was like,
Holy
okay, like this really something happened in
really
here.
happened.
So my client was.
Did you feel anything when you were at the property? Like anything eerie?
Yes, it was so. It was probably, I had nightmares. Honestly, this was the only listing that I had nightmares about, and I had to like let it go.
Well, because for me too, it would be like people who are still alive did this to somebody at this like I would just be like,
It was heavy.
very heavy, and like, are they around? Like,
Yeah.
if I'm here by myself, like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
But there were like crazy things happening. Like people were calling me agents. This was the only property this was happening at. Like I've done so many properties. This was the only one. Like weird shit was happening. Like they would call me and they would say, oh, there's like someone unscrewed the water valve in the kitchen. There was like hookup for the washer and
Right.
dryer, right?
Right.
And someone just like opened it and the water just started like leaking. And who would do that? No agent would do that. The
No,
property was
why?
vacant. Like
Like they came in and it was like spraying water everywhere already?
yeah, it was just, yeah. It was like, I don't know if it was dripping or it was leaking. They said we just turned it off.
I just got goosebumps.
Yeah,
That
and
freaks me out.
and then I would go there and like there would be doors open, like like someone would leave the back door open, stuff like that.
And-
or I would walk in
And like nobody had been there, so you're like, how is this door open?
exactly.
Wow.
And there would be splashes of mud on the floor, and like there was no rain, there was nothing happening. Like the utilities were actually shut off because the water bills were overdue. Like
so
there was no,
there's no
It was
way that
just-
any of that would be
yeah, it was just, it
happen.
didn't make sense. And I was like,
It freaks you out when
yeah,
you
but
go
at the same
in.
time, I was like, what do I do with that? Like I'm still trying to sell it. of
Nothing. You just
course.
got to keep it moving.
Yeah.
What did your client say when you were like, what happened?
He told me the story. He said that like his dad was tortured and like
Wow.
the drugs were, part of it.
Right. And
It was, I was like, wow, okay.
and he died as a result of those injuries. Of being
yeah, I don't
tortured.
remember exactly what happened because it happened like years ago, like that
So who is?
story.
How long has the house been sitting vacant with blood on the walls?
Probably a year,
Okay.
I'd say.
Okay.
Yeah,
Holy cow. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe it's the dad coming back and like haunting it.
maybe.
That is
Because-
Did you sell it?
No, I had to like cancel the listing. I was like, I'm sorry, but like I cannot do this anymore. I'm having nightmares, and
It was too much.
it was difficult because we kept getting into escrow and people would like back out and like some stuff will happen. Like it was just really odd. Like things.
Well, things were probably happening when they were there, or like it just needed too much work, or like who knows? Like people just get, and we have to disclose that. So then, if it was in the last, what is it?
Oh my God, do you know what happened?
What?
Because he didn't actually die on the property, right? And
So
you have to disclose it if it happened on the property.
Correct. But
So
then
my
neighbors
client
and
marked the wrong box,
no.
and I didn't see it for.
Oh shit. So then they're like, wait, they died on the property? And you're like, not exactly.
Yeah, she calls me the agent and I'm like, oh no, wait, he marked the wrong.
You're like, he didn't actually die there. They're like, well, did he die? You're like, yeah, but not there. They're like, well, what happened? You're like, well, he may have been tortured, old school status, by the mob. We're not really sure what happened. Holy shit.
Yeah.
So it just became like too much and you were just like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
When sorry, you did say this one was in probate.
Yes.
So that's how you found it. You reached out to the seller, which was the son.
Yeah.
Made
And
the
he was
relationship.
so cool. I
He was
love that
so-
guy. Like
yeah.
he was such a cool guy.
That sucks. Was there other siblings involved? Why was that one in probate if it was just him? Why was it in probate then? Because he had no will?
Yes.
He had nothing for the house. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Heads up, everybody. If a will is not good enough, you need a trust.
Yes.
Your house must be in a trust. If you take nothing else from this episode, dead guys and torture aside, what should we name this episode? We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Have your house in a trust. Anyway, it's the
I
biggest
have
thing.
good lawyers if you need them.
Yes, so do I. And also, even you and I, as single women, need a trust. Because, like, if something happened to me, this place, or my dog, or whatever, like, my parents just can't come in and, like, take over. Like, single people need a trust too. So anyway, hot tip.
Or an LLC.
Something, please. Just a will is not good enough. Everyone thinks it is.
An
It's not.
entity.
An entity. Do something with your lives.
Yeah.
Wow. Kat, no more of these. Although keep it coming because then you can keep coming on the podcast.
There's
so many.
all day.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Behind the Lockbox is sponsored by Property Showcase Group. Property Showcase Group has a team of creatives, directors, producers, editors, marketing specialists, and designers that work in tandem to tell and share stories of the built environment. Whether you're looking for full-service production or simply just need content creation, Property Showcase Group can help take your business to the next level. To learn more or to contact Property Showcase Group to schedule a consultation, you can find them at propertyshowcasegroup.com. That's spelled PropertyShowcasegroup.com. PropertyShowcaseGroup.com. I'm back to talk about our sponsor and producer, Property Showcase Group. This is for all my agent and affiliate friends out there. Property Showcase Group has a special offer for you. The first 3 agents to email Property Showcase Group at teampsg@propertyshowcasegroup.com will get 1 month free of social media management using code LOCKBOX. That's right, 1 month free. And they're offering 20% off your first video production using code LOCKBOX. For more information, contact Property Showcase Group at teampsg@propertyshowcasegroup.com, and don't forget to use code LOCKBOX or mention this podcast.
Well, do you want to end with Joe's story, the disgusting one? Because we do have to go soon, and I still want to play it.
Yeah. How much time do we have?
Like 20 minutes.
Okay. So that one is like really complicated. There are just so many factors to it. I was
Sure.
just mind blown.
I can't even. That's insane. That's
Yeah.
insane.
So with that one,
With the one that Joe commented and was like, Steph!
yeah. It was very interesting because I knew that it will also have a lot of stuff in it.
Was it
It's in
another
kind of
probate?
rough shape. Yes,
Okay.
probate.
Okay.
I'm like probate all day, every day.
Queen.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
That's me. Probate's trust foreclosures. Like
Yeah.
they go hand in hand, and I love working with those.
Yeah.
But anyways, so with these guys, the way it started, I didn't know much about it, and I knew that there was a lockbox on the property,
Okay.
and the guy wanted me to check it out. The family member wanted me
Okay.
to check it out.
He said, go ahead and go.
Yeah, and then he says, actually coordinated with this lady. She's a friend of the previous owner. My I think it was his aunt or someone that passed.
Okay.
So he said that she was close to her. She lives in the area. She will walk you kind of through the property, give you the access.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, so from just accessing the logbox, now he wants me to meet her. But then
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, I like meeting, people
Could be
face
another
to face.
Could be
Yeah.
another lead.
I'll
You know
take
what I
that all
mean?
day, every day.
100%.
Yeah, so I was really curious to get to know her. And she was a very nice lady.
Okay.
We clicked right away.
Love it.
And I arrived a little bit before her. Of course, you want to show up early.
Yeah. And check out the surroundings and whatever you got going on here. Yeah.
And it was in Valley Center.
Okay.
So it was
It's a drive.
you had a lot of acreage, like
Yes.
it was a large property. There
Yeah.
was a garage down, like a detached large, I don't know how many spaces, maybe like 5, like a
Wow.
huge
A big car garage, like
yes,
below.
construction on the bottom of the property,
Okay.
and then you drive up, and then there's the house.
Okay.
Um, and I saw some people. The garage doors were open, and there were people going in and out. There was a lady, and once she saw me parking in front of the house, she immediately goes in and shuts the doors
To the garage.
to the garage. And I'm like,
Okay.
well, he didn't tell me if there were tenants in here.
Yeah.
So
And
that's
that wasn't the
interesting.
lady you were meeting.
No,
Okay.
it wasn't her, because she was supposed to drive from, the
Okay. And you were going to meet her, obviously, at
Yeah.
the house.
Yeah, she said, just meet me at the gate, and then I'm gonna open it. So I'm waiting for her, and then she comes in, and I ask her about it, obviously, and
Yeah.
she's like, yeah, these are squatters that are living in the garage. We cut off the utilities, so hopefully they're going to move out soon.
Wow. Shoot.
So then I understood that that's why I needed a person to go with me, because already you have some hostile people. She told me that sometimes they would park an RV in front of the entrance, so you wouldn't be able to even get in.
Dude, people are insane. Squatters are wild. Anyway.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, so this is a hostile
This
environment
makes-
over here.
this
I need
makes
to be
sense.
very mindful. I need to be quick, just in and
100%.
out, just
Yep.
get a feel for the situation. But
Right.
we have to be aware of the
Surroundings. 100%. Yeah.
So anyways, we drive up to the house. There was a bunch of abandoned cars all over the property, and
jeez.
RVs,
Yeah.
and
All kinds of stuff.
a lot of junk.
Yeah.
And there was a shed built in front of the property.
Okay.
And it looked like it was just someone, it wasn't a professional or it wasn't a shed that, like those nice ones. It wasn't
a one that's
anything like
prefab
that.
that you can have installed
Yeah.
and bring there or whatever. It was like janky.
Yes. So
Okay.
she told me that they were cooking meth. And I was like,
The owner or
no, the
the
squatters. That
were they there when she was alive or no?
Yes. So the son that was living
Oh no.
property was living there and allowing
And these
the
were like,
squatters
so
in.
he knew them at some point and it was becoming a flop house basically.
She was sick, and he was just
taking advantage.
Yeah.
Was he still there? Was he around?
So when I went there, he already passed. So there is a whole history about him.
Did he
too.
OD?
No. So
Wow.
the story is going to unfold. So
Okay,
as
keep going. Keep going. Holy
she
shit.
just gives me a whole tour. Like, this is.
And
what
is she
happened
telling
from
you
A
all of
to
this?
Z.
She's telling you all of this as you're walking through. Wow. And you're just like,
Yeah, she was like, hey, did he tell you the story about the house? I'm like, the story?
you're like, no, but enlighten
No.
me, please. Okay, so keep going.
Yeah. So I was completely
Shocked.
shocked when I walked in. And it was probably, I will be honest, like the heaviest,
You could feel it.
feeling, but like body wise. With the one that I had nightmares about, it wasn't so much my body. Like, I didn't feel sick when I was walking in there. It was just more of like the things that were happening there were just
Freaking
weird.
you out and weird.
Yes.
This, you physically felt heavy.
Yes, exactly. And it was because so okay, we go in there,
I'm scared.
and it's already like, I will show you like videos and pictures if you want to
Okay, yeah, later for sure.
But basically we walk in, and then there's a laundry room, and then you see the kitchen on the left,
Okay.
and like the house, everything is shut off, so there's no light. So I'm like walking around with my phone, and I'm like videotaping everything and like taking pictures as I do that, just to document everything while I'm in there,
Yeah.
because I don't want to go back.
No, you're like, let me get this one and done, please. Thanks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like documenting everything as I go. And I see like a bunch of blood on the floor in the kitchen. And it's like, it's
It's a lot.
a lot.
It's
and I-
dried, but it's like pools of blood,
like, yes.
like big spots.
yes. And it's just like absolutely disgusting to me. Like, I'm
Very hard to
just-
look at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then in that moment, I'm like, why wouldn't they clean this up?
I mean,
It's just very, difficult to see something like this.
100%, especially when you were not prepared. You had no idea what you were walking into.
Yeah, but I feel like at the same time they just wanted to, I guess, fully disclose what happened in there, which like I appreciate. At the same time,
fully disclose and clean it up, but yeah.
But
also it's possible maybe those squatters again weren't letting them in, and finally, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like maybe now they could and they just hadn't had a chance to clean it up, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah. So anyways, and I see
but this
like
lady
more,
touring you, she knows this is all here.
and she starts telling me like, the son had a difficult time with mom passing, and he basically
killed himself.
He was trying to, so he slit his wrists in the kitchen, so therefore so much blood, you can only imagine, right?
Yeah. Trigger warning for anyone listening, but
yes.
Yeah, it's hard, it happens.
And I feel like when you get the story as you're like looking at it, then it's just like your imagination.
It's so real, of course. Your imagination runs
goes.
wild, and it's heavy. I mean, that is, I've never been in that situation, so I mean, how can you not just like either want to get the hell out of there, or just like, it's so sad. Like the weight of that is just like, I mean,
and then I had that feeling hit me when I was like, should I literally walk out of here and just get a deep breath and like get myself out of this situation? Because it was very...
Could you even breathe in the house?
I could, yes.
Okay.
But I was just very like nauseous.
Yeah.
And very like
physically it was taking,
physically
it was affecting you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And but at the same time she was there with me, so I felt like I have someone I'm with, so I feel safe.
I mean, now it makes sense why he was like, let me just, I mean, at least he was like, don't go in by yourself. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
If you walked in and saw that pool of blood, dried blood by yourself, you'd be like,
oh.
And the people down below, I would flip out.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's what happened. And then she walks me. Okay, so she said, because there was so much blood, it was going all the way from the kitchen to the bedroom. So as I'm like walking through the house, there's more and more blood, and I'm like,
and you're having to walk over
going?
Yeah.
And I went to the bedroom, and then she said that he I think crawled to the bedroom, and then another junkie found him in there and wrapped his wrists with bandage,
trying to save him.
Yes. He was unconscious, but after that other person did that, he got his consciousness again.
Okay. Stop.
And he still wanted to end himself, so he went to the door that was facing the back porch, and he shot himself in the head.
Okay.
And there was a splash of blood there too.
Wow.
And
so who I mean, the other people that were there, there was another junkie there, obviously. There was there
were multiple junkies.
And they found him or heard it.
Yes. And there was something weird to it where we don't know the explanation.
Sure.
Because she thought that there was something that the law enforcement didn't investigate enough. She felt like they just closed the case early on, saying that it was just a suicide. So but she had a backstory to it. It didn't end this way. He didn't, just...
She doesn't think
die on that spot where he shot himself in the head, because his body was found on the other side of the property. Someone dragged him to the front of the house, and he didn't have his shirt on.
Wow.
And someone took his phone away.
I mean, and that's the thing, like when you have people who are not in their right frame of mind and are on drugs like that, maybe they freaked out and thought that they would be, accused of that if he really did take his own life. And so they wanted to try to hide the evidence or whatever, or maybe they did get in a scuffle and maybe someone did shoot him. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to say when you have nefarious people kind of living on a property like that. So, and again, the mom was already passed, which is why he was suicidal, because he was having a hard time with her death, correct?
Yes.
And the family knew he was suicidal? They're not really sure.
I don't think they're sure, because they didn't live in this state.
Okay.
They lived
so they're so far away, which that is another reason probably why things weren't cleaned up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they might be getting stories from these people who were living on the property that are telling her, but like you said, she doesn't believe it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. I feel like the friend, she was a very faithful person, which
Mhm.
made the whole experience very,
hard.
no, I would say it actually made it easy for me.
Okay.
Easier.
But I
because-
mean, in the sense that like you both felt like it more sad, I guess I should say. Like she had
Yes.
faith, and so it was just hard to see all of that. But to be with some, I mean, that just makes it so heavy and sad. You know what I mean?
I was definitely tearing up, and we
Oh, for
had like a
sure.
really like
Heart to
deep
heart.
conversation about it, and
Yeah.
it was beautiful, and I
Yeah.
really, appreciate that.
Right. I'm sure she appreciated that for you being there for her. You know what I mean? Because this was her friend and
Yeah.
her friend's son. I'm sure she looked at him like family as well, which, look, we've had stories on this podcast where people, back in the 2008 era when foreclosures were happening, and investors would go and knock on the door and, they'd be like, look, I bought your house on the courthouse steps and like, we have to have you move out, but like, here's some cash. We want to help you, move to another place. Like
Yeah.
these investors were really trying, they weren't just kicking people. Like they were really trying to help these people relocate so that they could then flip the house. And a lot of times the house was in disrepair, right? And this one particular agent, they went back and they couldn't get in, and they looked through the windows and like nothing had been moved. And they're like 2 days past the move out date. And they finally get the sheriff and they get the door open. And sure enough, the guy had taken his own life like a week before. And he didn't want to go. I mean,
Wow.
these things happen,
Yeah.
and it's unfortunate and it's sad and it's gross to have to walk in on some of that. But at the same time, like you said, the heaviness takes over, and
Yeah.
we see these people are human,
Yeah.
and we see what they're going through. And while those people who were squatting were shady and not doing the right thing, they were probably all on drugs, and you're
Yeah.
not in your right frame of mind
Exactly.
when you're doing those things,
Exactly.
They probably don't even know what day it is or where they are,
Exactly.
And so, yeah, they parked the RV in front of the gate and made it difficult, but there was probably a reason why the family was just leaving things the way it was, because they
Yeah.
needed to kind of get their bearings under them to
Yeah.
deal with what had happened
Yeah.
before they could essentially kind of move on from that. So, wow,
Yeah.
that is wild. I did not know it was going that direction. Like,
Yeah.
that's crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
you've seen it, girl, you've seen it all.
And I feel like when you are dealing with stories like this,
Yeah.
sometimes you feel like I'm just a girl
Yeah.
and I need to feel safe.
Yes.
And in places like that, you don't feel safe
No,
sometimes.
you don't. And we have to be really careful.
Like the one with the body in the freezer.
Yeah.
When I walked into the property, it was just unbelievable. Like someone broke in, the back sliding door was open. Someone broke the window
Wow.
in the living room.
Yeah.
Like people were going in and out.
Yeah. No, you don't feel safe. I mean, and that's the thing. We've talked about it a lot on this podcast, is being not only sometimes a single female, some of us are single, some of us are whatever, but when we're out and about, our husbands aren't with us, our boyfriends aren't with us, whatever the case may be, it's good to take someone with you. You know what I mean? Especially
Yeah.
when you're dealing with properties such as this, right?
Yeah.
And in different parts of San Diego, not every part
Yeah.
is the beach and beautiful. Like it's
Yeah.
just not, and
Exactly.
but look, we've had squatters. We had someone break into our $20 million listing and he was off his rocker. It was a waterfront listing. And he was like,
Oh
no,
my
I live here. And the maid, he like startled the maid. It was terrifying. And like, not a heavy situation, but like he had slept in the bed and like he was convinced that he owned the property.
Oh my
Oh yeah. We
gosh.
had to have the sheriff come. Like it was a thing.
Yeah.
And so like these things happen regardless of the area. Like things can
Yeah.
happen anywhere, but we, especially as women, when we're meeting a client for the first time that we don't know, whatever, we've talked about it many times on this podcast. Like people don't understand sometimes the situations that we put ourselves in, sometimes not knowing. Like you didn't know, you were like, okay, like he didn't really warn you. He was like, oh, the friend will come. And you're like, now it makes sense why. Thank God he had that wherewithal to be like, I don't really want you going there alone. I wish he would have given you a little more of a heads up than he did, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we just have to be really careful.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyway, thank
Sometimes
you for
you
sharing
have to be
that.
direct. And
You do.
have you seen that post? One agent from Kyle Whistle's team
Oh my God.
posted about
Recently, the
Yeah.
guy. Yes.
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 I
Did that-
actually talked to that guy like
You did
2 years
not.
ago. Yes. And when I saw this on Instagram, I was like, thank God I never
So really quickly, for everyone who doesn't know, basically, Kyle Whistle, who's a really big EXP agent here in town. Shout out to Kyle. He's amazing. I should have him. I need to have him on this podcast.
Yeah.
A agent on his team who's a female. Did she get a phone call from him, or did he
Yes.
show up? But he was like stalking female agents, correct?
So he was trying to trap her in the house.
It's literally my nightmare. Like I'm getting goosebumps and it really freaks me out. Like
Yeah.
it is not okay. And did she got out though?
She did. Apparently a FedEx guy showed up and she just ran for her life.
Wow.
It's crazy.
And he got away
I mean, yeah.
because
still-
Kyle, and he's still out there.
Yeah.
They had posted his photo because did she
Yes.
get his photo? Or
I think so. Yeah, when she was there, I think she had to take that picture.
Because wasn't she at an
otherwise-
open house or something like that? And I don't know the whole story and how it all happened. Do you? No.
I think he just called her and she went for a
A showing.
appointment.
Yeah.
It was a
So when
solar
you
appointment.
talked to him, what happened?
I'm sorry, to who?
Did you talk to that guy? The one that she
2
posted?
years ago. Yes. Hold on. Let me think about it.
How did you know it was him?
Because I knew the address. So I looked up the address and I'm like, I looked at the house.
Oh my
because-
God, wait a minute. Oh my God. It's okay, sorry. This was confusing. So
Yeah.
he was a seller, quote unquote.
Yes.
So you went to the oh my God, okay. And she went to the listing appointment and he tried to trap her inside.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God.
And when I found out, I was like, thank God it I didn't go there
Why
years
didn't you
ago.
end up going? Do you remember?
Because he was unrealistic about the price.
Oh, good.
He just wanted like way too much. And I always try to be like
Of course.
upfront with them.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
yeah.
I'm not gonna like try to get the listing and just tell you what you want to hear.
Right.
My job is to do the due diligence to find out what is the actual value for the property,
Right.
like the fair market value.
Yeah.
That's why you're hiring me.
Right.
If you don't want to listen to my expertise, then
Yeah.
just sell it on your own, which he was trying in the past. I think it was for sale by owner and it did not sell. And the condition was like horrible. Like it was, when you would look at the pictures, you would be like, this is weird. How can you live this way? So you could tell that this person wasn't like,
I mean, he creeped me out by the photo that she posted. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
And I feel like sometimes you can just get a vibe from the person when you talk to them over the phone.
100%.
And I feel like
And we should
we as
always
women
listen
have
to that.
Listen to the guy.
Yes.
Yes.
Every single time. Do not dismiss it. Do not let it be like, oh, I'm just being dramatic. Like, you know, I've had men sit in this chair and they have all said to me when something like this comes up, because I've had some close calls where it's been a little scary, where someone weird walked into an open house and I stood outside and I would not go back in. And I was like, oh, I'm on the phone with my partner. He just grabbed his coffee. He's coming back. He wasn't. But the guy left. I shut down and I got the f- out of there. Like, I didn't
Oh my
care
God.
that I was doing an open house for another agent. I called, it was Seth O'Byrne years ago. And I called him and Seth's like, do not go back. I'm so glad you're like, I don't do open houses alone anymore, by the way. Like, and we shouldn't, because it's just not safe.
That's right.
Lena, who's been on this podcast, she had a guy come in and was like rummaging
Lena.
around. Yeah, she's the best. Hi, Lena. Like she,
We love our
Remember?
realtors. I know Jenny too.
yeah, we know
Shout out
everybody.
to
It's so
Jenny.
fun.
I know Ron Feynman that was on here.
You know everyone.
Yeah.
So fun. But that's,
love
you know,
this
it's like
show.
they sit across from me, these men, and they're
Yeah.
like, oh, I've never thought about that. And I'm like, because you don't have to.
Yeah.
You don't have to be afraid. You don't have to think. You don't have to clock your surroundings
I
all
love
the time.
having like male partners. I feel
Oh,
like
I love
it's
it.
just
And also, there's also a fun dynamic too when you're
Yeah.
it's like a true listing appointment. It's not some creepy guy calling you, but like there's a male female perspective of like what the guy does, what the girl does. Like, you know, we just bring different things to the table. So it's really fun co-listing with a male
Yeah.
because there's just different points of view. I feel safer when we're doing things together, you know, stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So, but we have to be really cognizant and super careful because you just don't know. And again, say it louder for the people in the back. If something feels off,
Yes.
it's off.
run.
That's it. You don't
Run
need
for
to
your
go.
life.
It is not worth it. I wonder if she felt, and she was there alone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if it's not like a husband and wife calling me or even a referral or anything, like I'll take someone with me. Like I won't
Yeah.
go to a listing appointment. Like, what's the point?
But one thing about like doing business with people, it's so hard to find a good partner.
It is hard.
I
It
feel
is.
like
Yeah.
I tried like a few times and
Yep.
you know,
Yep.
I want to have fun
Yeah.
with what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I feel
You got to find the right one that vibes with you. And like,
Yeah.
I've got some agent now that I'm solo and, you know, because I was on a team my whole career, my almost 9 years. And I just went solo in January and, well, really end of last year. But like, you know, I'm still really good friends with my team. And like, he has said to me so many times, if you need me to go on a listing appointment with you, I will go. Because we were together 9 years almost. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
like, the vibe was there and it was good, right? So like, it's it's one of those things that like, and if you ever need me, you call me. Like, even if it's like, hey, I just need you to go with me. I'll throw you $1,000 when it closes, or $500, $200. I don't give a shit what if it's nothing.
Okay.
I will still go with you because I don't ever want you to be alone in a situation, and 2 is better than 1. And also we're both really tall. So like,
I appreciate that. We're intimidating.
Bitch, you know? So like, anyway, on that note, I just, you know, everybody please be careful out there.
Thank you for offering.
Oh my God,
I'll definitely take
anytime.
advantage.
Anytime. Like, I don't ever want my agent friends to be alone. And like, you know, now that I've gone solo, like so many of my friends have been like, hey, if you're out of town, I go back and see my niece on the East Coast a lot every couple months. Like I'm back there seeing her for a few days. And so, you know, look, I still have business here. And when you're by yourself, like you need help sometimes showing stuff. And we need people we can trust, who we know are not going to snake our clients, who are great in a showing, are responsible. They show up on time. You know, the seller can trust them as much as they trust you. It's hard to find that, you know, and I've got my select few, but if you need me and I know I could call you, like, you know, we're here for each other because it's important.
Doing business with people that I like and trust.
100%.
That's what it's all about.
It's the most fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, let's play a game.
Oh my gosh.
This might incite some stories, but first thing that comes to your mind, it's rapid fire, okay?
Okay.
It's called Punch List, so I'm going to hit you with 3 questions. I feel like we've heard it. Yeah. I don't think we need to answer this again, but like, let's see if you come up with anything else. What is the weirdest thing or situation you've ever walked in on? I'm going to say probably blood or finding out a dead person was in the freezer. Is there something else?
Weirdest?
Yeah.
Weirdest.
I feel like we already answered this.
Yeah, probably. I would say probably the
blood.
Yeah.
The blood. It's tough.
That was probably the weirdest.
What is your biggest pet peeve?
Biggest pet peeve?
This can be in life or in business. My list is long.
I know. I have the same thing.
Yeah.
But the biggest one. I would say.
I don't like slow drivers.
Okay, that's one of them.
Yeah.
That's a good one, actually.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Or if they're like taking forever to back out of a parking spot, I'm like, what are you doing?
Okay, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Slow people, they are.
Or slow agents that don't show up on time.
That's true. Yeah.
I don't love that. I don't love that. Okay.
Hold on.
You have another one? Oh, I love it. Hit me with it.
I feel like, you know, when agents, they just are like too cocky.
Yeah.
I feel like we get it in this business so much.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I just love like people that are down to earth. Yeah. It's like, hey, I'm just a human.
And like when you meet them at the showing and you just vibe and you're like, fuck yeah, I want to do a deal with you. And then you get a cocky one and you're like, can you leave now? Like, this is not fun. I'm with you there. If you could be anything other than a real estate agent, what would you be and why?
Anything other than a real estate agent?
Would you still play basketball?
I would say, okay, that's definitely one of my passions, but
you could go in the WNBA. You did?
Yeah.
Damn.
Like, but if I could go back, I don't know. I feel like I probably would because it's like one of those things when it gets cut off when you're like still young. You haven't really finished the chapter.
You didn't get to leave on your own terms. Like you got injured and that was it.
Yeah, it was
sucks.
just
I'm sorry.
That happened for me.
Yeah. But then you didn't have to stay in Oklahoma. She went to Oklahoma, guys. From Poland, right? Straight from Poland to Oklahoma?
So no, actually I was in London for a few months.
But still, coming to the US from anywhere in Europe, I feel like is a culture shock.
It was. And in the middle of like nowhere.
You were in a small
town.
The
people, I have to tell you, I love the people.
The Midwest, there's nothing better.
I felt like they were just so nice to me and so welcoming and so like family oriented. They just made me feel like home.
It's true. I couldn't agree with you more. Yeah.
And there was one time because I feel like I was dreaming about living in the States since I was a little girl. It was just there was just something pulling me here.
Okay. And you said there's something keeping you here, which I love.
Yes. Yeah. And I feel like it was just, I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
But it was.
Do you get to go back and see your family often or not so much?
I feel like I used to, yes.
Okay.
And I haven't seen them for a few years. And then they just came to visit me in December.
Oh my God, I remember when you said they were coming, but I didn't realize we didn't talk a ton. It was like we were trying to schedule the podcast and you're like, my family's going to be here. And
yeah. So that was actually good. I got to just like, you know, chill with them.
And show them around and everything you're doing. And you're like, now? Oh my God, I'm sure. Oh my God, I'm so happy.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we need to have you back for part 2.
Yes.
Because we could do this all day.
I know, right?
Anyway, Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
It was a blast.
So, it's not over yet. Don't worry. We're going to have you back.
Oh, thank you.
All right, guys. Don't forget, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please follow us on Instagram at Behind the Lockbox. Of course, leave us a kind review, and you can download and follow the show on Apple and Spotify. And thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. Behind the Lockbox is produced and edited by Property Showcase Group. If you like this podcast, please share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, or review this podcast. Thanks for your support. See you next week.